Hey, it's Clay at claytrader.com. This will be my top 10 stocks as we head into Monday, November 4th. This will be a technical analysis breakdown, so if you are someone that uses charts within your trading, or maybe you're just interested in learning more about charts and how they can be used as a tool to help make good decisions as a trader, this will be a video for you. And also, if you trade Bitcoin, I will do a bonus analysis at the end. First off, a couple of clarifications. Number one, the candlestick that you see right there will be moving around and changing. That is because the market's still open for a small amount of time. But I like to do these videos when the market is still open because sometimes we can capture some really interesting late day price movement. Second, I'll be using the 30-minute time frame, meaning each one of these candlesticks here represents 30 minutes worth of time. So stock number one, ticker symbol DJT, been following this one on a routine basis because it remains very volatile, big volume, and the pullback continues. Although what I find interesting going into next week is one of my favorite patterns has formed, and that is the falling wedge pattern. Now, you may think falling wedge is a bearish pattern, but that would actually be the rising wedge. The rising wedge is bearish, the falling wedge is bullish. So let me get this drawn into place. So there is the support part of the pattern. Whoops, I didn't mean to grab that top part. There we go. Next part is that area right there, and this gives us the falling wedge pattern. Now, let me be very clear. Just because there's a bullish pattern does not mean that for sure, guaranteed, without question, the price is going to explode in the upwards direction. But would it shock people? Would it catch people off guard if this thing consolidates out a little bit and then gets a movement back to the upside? I don't think that would catch anybody off guard. Again, not guaranteed to happen, so that's why risk management matters. But a falling wedge pattern can be a very, very powerful chart or powerful pattern. And that's, what is formed right here. So if you're somebody that likes this price range, you like falling wedge patterns, then certainly keep an eye on DJT next week. Next one here, ticker symbol VSTE. Did this one a couple days ago, and you can see the price finally got the break up through that area of resistance right there, and an absolute huge explosion today. So we're going to go ahead and just get rid of those lines if they serve their purpose for now, and we'll map out some of these newer levels, and we have ourselves a good solid pattern here that has now formed. So let's get this pattern drawn into play. We have the resistance portion of the pattern. We have the support portion of the pattern. Again, let me change that to green to represent support. And then to make it easier to see, let me just keep it one color. So we have our resistance. We have our support. We have the big explosion right there. If you golfers out there trying to make it a little bit more visual, put the golf hole down here. This would be a bull pennant pattern. So as I just said, just because something's bullish does not mean for sure the price is going to go upwards. But would it shock anybody if the price comes up here, breaks that level, and then that break, even if you just want to call it a self-fulfilling prophecy, creates additional buying pressure? That is certainly a plausible thought process. So this is definitely a stock that has proven it can move very quickly. So if you like this price range, you like volatility, then look no further than this one. Next one, AAPL. Apple had earnings, and overall, an interesting day, mainly because, things started off very rough with a gap down here. Price actually went all the way there, but then opening 30 minutes, you can see that green candle right there. Price recovered, and then just basically went sideways the rest of the day and got relatively boring as it went to this tight range. That's all to say that makes it interesting because had the price gap down and continue to bleed and bleed and bleed, and then I'm sitting here saying, hey, maybe this is some sort of bottom, you'd be totally justified to say, wait a second. Why would you say this is the bottom when the price is literally continuing to bleed further and further down? But that's not the case here. It has started to go sideways. Now, does that mean this is for sure guaranteed the bottom just because it went sideways? Of course not. But it becomes a whole lot more plausible to throw out that suggestion when this is the case. So in terms of areas of support, key level right there at 221.50. Nothing complicated there. That's basically the bottom part of this channel pattern. And then the top part is essentially the top part of this channel pattern right there around 223.50. So 221.50, bottom part of the sideways channel support, top of the channel resistance up there at 223.50. Next one, SMCI, and pretty crazy, but the bleeding continues on this one. And we once again, though, have, at least I'm pretty sure we do, from the naked eyeball test, I believe that we do. Yep, there we go. Oh, actually, right on that level. So yes, I am drawing a falling wedge. In fact, let me move this out so you can see it a little bit better. So there we go. We have the bottom part of the pattern. Then we have the top part right there. So another falling wedge pattern. But what makes this a little different than on DJT is DJT was kind of in the middle of it. But this one, as I speak, is sitting right on the bottom part of the pattern, which brings up a very interesting scenario. Some people are going to be saying, I think this thing's getting ready to potentially bounce off that line. I totally see where they're coming from. Others might be saying, I think this thing's about to fail and it's going to pick up more momentum. I see where they're coming from. but that's why risk management matters. But the core and common denominator there is that bottom trend line, you got to think a lot of people are watching. So as of right now, the falling wedge is holding. The price is respecting that lower moving average, or not moving average, excuse me, that lower trend line of the pattern. So does this get some sort of bounce in the upwards direction next week? Grab your popcorn and we'll see what happens. Next one here, TSLA Tesla, and this will mean a little bit more to those of you that watched the video from yesterday, but I talked about 247 as the main area of support, and while it was not exact, I think we can all agree the price did do a good job of just bouncing right around that level. So on that note, so far so good. The level that you would want to see hold as support did indeed hold strong as support. So moving into next week, yes, 247 remains that key area of support. Now, if the price continues, because as of right now, yeah, got to give some credit where credit's due. Nice little bounce. If this bounce continues, then yes, you do have this overarching level up here at 255.20. But actually, the more relevant one is going to be that purple line there, because that is a 50-period simple moving average. Keyword there being moving, because as next week plays out, that line is going to move itself down below that area of resistance and therefore become a higher priority. So right now, they're basically at the same value. You can barely see it, but like I said, as time goes by, that line will move down and get more and more relevant, so keep an eye on that. But yes, if the price can push through that purple line, then yeah, you'd want to immediately turn your attention to 255.20. But like I said, so far so good. That level has held. That's created a little bit of a miniature bounce. Can this bounce gain more momentum next week? We'll see. Real quick, want to take a break and personally invite you to get signed up for this free live online webinar that I'm offering next week. So if you've been enjoying what you've seen and you want to learn more about this tool, how it can and should be used to build consistency and manage risk, then definitely get signed up for the free live class. If you're watching on YouTube, there's a link down in the description box you can use, or if you're watching at my website, there's an area right there on the webpage that you can use to sign up. So like I said, if you've been enjoying, then definitely get signed up for the free class. Next one here, NVDA, very nice move today, bounce off of that lower area of support, and that's where the first update comes into play. That update just based on a foundational rule in charting, which states when levels of resistance are broken and closed above, you want to see them act as support. So this level right there at 134.75 was a resistance, but now it's green, and that would be the ideal level of support. Ideal meaning if you're saying, hey Clay, what would make this chart look the absolute strongest going forward? And that'd be if the price can hold strong here. Now, if it doesn't hold, not the end of the world, because you still do have 132.25. But if the price can manage to stay above this area right here at 134.75, then that's just making the chart look that much better, because now you'd have a low right there. You'd have these lows down there. And if you envision those as stair steps, you'd have nice stair steps progressing in the upwards direction. So 134.75, like I said, the preferable level, but by no means some sort of do or die level. In terms of areas of resistance, yes, you have this level right here, but I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that just so we don't have lines everywhere. And we'll just make this a little simpler, no pun intended, and we'll just keep our eye on the 50-period simple moving average, which I talked about previously. That is a moving average, so that line will continue to move itself downwards and get more and more relevant. So keep an eye on that. And then if the price does push up through there, don't get too excited, because not that far away, you have the big brother up there, the 200-period moving average, right now valued at 138.60. But all in all, any way you look at it, very nice way to end the week. Next one, GSAT. Nice mover today and good pattern. In fact, we've already talked about this pattern once, so I'm going to go through it a little quicker than the previous one, just because I want to respect your time as much as possible moving forward. That one actually kind of throws things off a little bit. There we go. But the same general idea is true. What is the general idea? The fact that the price made a huge move and is now pulling back and getting a little choppy and consolidating. So within that, we have ourselves another resistance, support, big move up, golf hole down here. We have ourselves another bull pennant pattern. So if you like stocks down below $5, you like bull pennants, keep an eye on GSAT. Next one, ATHA, and I like this one because there's just such a well-defined breakout point next week, and that is right here at the 68-cent mark. So by no means am I trying to impress you. I think a lot of people have noticed that. You can see rejected, rejected, breakout, nice move. Unfortunately, cannot maintain it. And then this afternoon, didn't hit it exactly, but got relatively close. And I say that all in the sense of a lot of people watching that area, because when lots of people are watching the same levels and wondering the same thing, call it a self-fulfilling prophecy, call it whatever you want. It can certainly produce, very dynamic movement. So if next week the price is able to curl back upwards, get to that area and break up through it, then that break could very realistically lead to that much more buying pressure. And then on the support side of things, nice little uptrending trend line here can be drawn. Let's get that changed to green. So keep an eye on that. And then just very quickly, from a pattern standpoint, resistance, support, big upwards move, golf hole down here. We have ourselves another bull pennant pattern. I'd say the biggest difference here is this happens to be a penny stock. So if you like penny stocks, you like bull pennants, here you go. Next one here, CDxc, and this one's a little disappointing only in the sense of this thing has now broken out during the last 30 minutes as I speak right now. So this thing had been having some resistance levels, but it broke out. So yes, if you are some sort of breakout trader, then you did miss it. You missed the breakout. With all that being said, we now get to ask a very exciting question, because this question makes no sense unless something worthwhile is happening. And something worthwhile is happening. What? Well, as we just discussed, a breakout. And that question is this break right there. Is this the start of something even bigger? Once again, think about that question. It would make no sense to ask, hey, is this the start of something bigger if nothing even happens? But something did happen here. So sure, you missed the breakout, but there could be continuation. Maybe this is the start of another bigger move like this next week. You just don't know. But the fact of the matter is, sometimes these are the best situations, because it is sitting there and wondering, I don't know, is this thing going to break out? Does it have enough power to break out? This thing has broken out. So now it just becomes the question, is this the start of something even bigger? So if you like these scenarios, keep an eye on it next week. Next one, ticker symbol TQQQ. And overall, the chart did fine today. Yeah, it gave back a little bit of its gains this afternoon, but considering where it was yesterday and how it was looking pretty bearish and how the price didn't even go down and test that lower trend line right there, I'd say all things considered, good solid day. I'm going to make one adjustment, and this is always a good adjustment assuming you're bullish, but I'm going to go ahead and adjust this area of resistance up to that level right there. And not to insult your intelligence, but you saw me adjust that in the upwards direction. And if you were bullish, whenever levels of resistance need to be adjusted in the upwards direction, that is a good thing. So going into next week, nothing has changed from the support side of things. To me, that trend line down there is still very, very important and very interesting. And if the price does try to come back upwards, and yeah, all eyes on 72.40 to see whether or not the price can push up through there. But also, keep an eye on that purple line, which you now know is a 50-period moving average. So as that line moves lower and lower next week, that will, definitely be something that you'll want to keep an eye on too. But all things considered, good way to end the week, and we'll see if the price can build upon this momentum next week. I'll get to Bitcoin here in just a second, but for you stock traders out there, again, if you like what you saw here, then definitely get signed up for the free live webinar next week. It'll be Thursday, November 7th at 8 p.m. Eastern time. So go get signed up, and I hope to see you there. All right, now let's talk some Bitcoin. One quick disclosure here, I am now on the 4-hour time frame, meaning each one of these candlesticks represents 4 hours and not 30 minutes. And that is because Bitcoin is open 24/7, and I want this analysis to remain relevant all weekend long. So by using a longer time frame and then walking you through some questions here, that'll allow me to, like I said, keep Bitcoin relevant all weekend long for you. So if you watch the past videos, you know that I've been talking about 71,500, and check it out. Big bounce and the power of charts. Look right where it ultimately got rejected, right at that level. So that'll be question number one. And let's just assume you're watching this video Sunday afternoon at some point. So question number one becomes, where's the price at relative to 71,500? If in any way, shape, or form you're answering the question that the price is up above that level, that is a good thing. That means Bitcoin is having itself a good solid weekend. Now, some common sense comes into play. If the price is, right here, don't get me wrong, that's very good. If the price is up here, that's telling you that Bitcoin is even having that much better of a weekend. So keep an eye on that level. Now, if you're saying, well, actually, Clay, the price is down below 71,500, next immediate question is, okay, well, where's the price at relative to that purple line there, which you now know is the 50-period moving average, currently valued at, let's just call it 69,300. If you're saying, well, Clay, the price is actually down below there, okay, next immediate question, where's the price at relative to the 200-period moving average, right now valued at 65,600. If you are somehow answering the question that the price is down below there, that's not good. That's telling you that Bitcoin is having a very bearish weekend. But if you're saying, well, Clay, the price is down below there, but it is up above there, so I know it's somewhere right around here, that's just basically a consolidation. It's not necessarily the greatest thing, but it's not terrible either, because it's not like the price is collapsing. Because as of right now, this is still just a pullback. So even if the price is down in this area right here, that would still, at least in my opinion, be considered part of the overall pullback. But that pullback does start to get squirrely again if somehow the price is down below that pink line. So walk yourself through those questions, and that'll keep this analysis relevant all weekend long. As I invited the stock traders, I'm inviting you as a Bitcoin and crypto trader to definitely get signed up for this free class too, because what you learn about can and certainly should be used within the world of Bitcoin and crypto. So like I said, it'll be next week, Thursday, November 7th at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. I hope to see you there. As far as these top 10 videos are concerned, if you enjoy these, please do two things for me. Hit that like button, and if you're not yet a subscriber, please hit that subscribe button. If you're looking for just a totally free way to help out the channel because you like the content, that is a super easy way to help out the channel by just, like I said, clicking the red subscribe button. So thanks for watching. Have a great weekend, and make sure you get signed up for the free webinar.